Alright guys, I have one question for you. What makes a person great? I mean, this is a pretty open-ended and loaded question, right? You can be a great mom, a great teacher, or a great student like me, obviously. But did you know that throughout history, there have been a few people that have been actually crowned with the title the Great? For example, we have Alexander the Great of Macedonia, Catherine the Great of Russia, and finally Frederick the Great of Prussia, who is obviously the topic of our presentation tonight. As you might know, Frederick achieved the title the Great because Prussia greatly increased its territories and became like a huge, major military power in Europe, under his rule. But of course, we're not just here to tell you about his great military accomplishments, which, I mean, obviously, they're very, very important and crucial to part of his career and his name, but we're here to talk about his lesser known, but just as important side, his artistic achievements, mainly him as a flutist.
Okay. So all Frederick wanted to be was actually a flutist. And he practiced 3 to 4 hours like every single day.
Or than you do.
Okay, right. Sure. Anyway, as I was reading this about him, I thought if he could conquer the world if he could conquer the world and he could practice an instrument over 2 hours every single day, I think people can learn a thing or two from him, you know? But you could say his father, Frederick William I, didn't really appreciate his enthusiasm. He wanted Frederick to become a big, great king. He not a musician, you know? So when Frederick was young, he tried to run away with his best friend, Hans Hermann. However, during their escape, they were caught. And being caught wasn't even the bad part. When they got caught, his best friend was actually executed right in front of his face. It was as a punishment, so he should give up as a musician. But after all that, you think Frederick kind of got the point. Well, no he didn't. He never gave up. His love and passion for his instrument was so great, he even built the Sanssouci Palace, where he performed his private concerts. And that's him playing up there. He learned under Joachim Quantz, who was one of the most renowned flutists of all time. Quantz was also the only one that could actually criticize the king.
Which is pretty crazy. If you think about it, you walk up to your king, and there's 4 armed soldiers around him, and you go, that note was pretty flat, or you're playing the rhythm wrong.
You could get executed for that. But anyway, here's a piece Johann Quantz wrote that Frederick most likely played. So, did you guys notice that dog right next to King Frederick? Fun fact, Frederick was actually buried with his greyhounds at the Sanssouci Palace. So, as a composer, Frederick wrote 4 flute concertos, 3 symphonies, and 3 marches. And here's a small snippet of one of the flute concertos he wrote.
So, one of the most significant events that occurred at the palace was when Johann Sebastian Bach came to visit his son, who was employed as a court composer and a keyboardist by the king. So when Bach came, the king played a theme and asked Bach to improvise on it. So here's the theme. Let's see how Bach managed to improvise under the watchful eye of the king. the king asked Bach to compose a six-voice fugue, which is really an impossible thing to do. But this is the legendary Johann Sebastian Bach we're talking about. Bach told him, if you give me some time, I'll write one for you. So Bach goes home and he writes a whole set of fugues, and he calls it the musical offering. He offers it to the king.
So this was a small snippet of Frederick's life as a musician. I hope you guys enjoyed it. To now close our presentation, we'll now play a piece called the Quant Sonata in D major for three flutes that Frederick most likely played.